The Department of Veterans Affairs is about to get a permanent secretary, the fourth one in 5 years. The Senate voted overwhelmingly 86-9 yesterday to confirm Robert Wilkie as the next VA secretary. He replaces David Shulkin, who was fired in March and has a huge job ahead of him, taking over a department that has been plagued with problems for years. Let's take a look at some of the biggest issues that he is facing. The Department of Veteran Affairs provides health and other benefits to nearly 20 million military veterans across the country. It's the nation's second largest bureaucracy after the Defense Department. There's a budget battle already underway. The VA's proposed budget for the fiscal year 2019 stands at $199 billion, but there's a $1.6 billion funding gap. The administration and lawmakers are arguing how to fill this. Part of the budget shortfall comes from the VA Mission Act of 2018. It was a massive restructuring of the VA's medical care programs at a cost of about $50 billion. This law, signed last month, consolidates the VA's community care programs and expands veteran access to private doctors. Wilkie is already on the defensive over the law. Some Democrats say it opens the door to privatization of the VA. Wilkie has promised to oppose those efforts. Another problem for Wilkie to tackle is the workforce. The VA employs more than 377,000 people, with an additional 4,000 people working outside the country. Former Secretary Shulkin said last year there were about 45,000 job vacancies, mostly within health services. So this is a massive, massive organization. Joining us now is Melissa Bryant, Chief Policy Officer for the group Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
You have interacted with Wilkie several times. Do you think he's up to the task? It's a big job.
I think that he's highly intelligent. I think that he is very thoughtful in his connection to the military and wanting to ensure that veterans are taken care of once they get home. But he certainly has his hands full, as you outlined at the start of the segment.
All right, so I outlined a lot of things. They've got these vacancies, they've got a lot of workers, they've got a budget shortfall. But if you're an American veteran, what's your biggest problem with the VA right now?
Your biggest problem with the VA right now is access to care. The VA Mission Act, that's supposed to help resolve that. It's supposed to sunset the controversial choice program, as you outlined earlier. And that's something that our veterans tell us at Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America is their biggest challenge, is getting VA care, getting into the system. And that's one of the biggest challenges that he needs to reduce, along with the suicide rates within our community. He also needs to really heavily focus on suicide prevention and mental health for our community.
Seeing all the challenges they face, the problems they currently have, why is privatization such a bad move when we're talking about the VA health system?
Privatization of the VA would be disastrous in that it would send millions of veterans out into the U.S. healthcare system. It could cost upwards of trillions of dollars. And there are certain injuries that are germane to our population, such as exposure to burn pits and other toxic exposures while we were deployed, in prosthetics that are used for amputees. And so there's a lot of things that are germane to the veteran population that the VA has specialized over years. And we want to see them continue in that specialized care for veterans.
You have worked, your group has worked with VA Secretary since 2004. How do you go into this relationship with Wilkie and by extension, a good relationship with the Trump administration?
We have worked with secretaries and we have worked across the aisle in the Hill ever since our creation in 2004. We look forward to working with Secretary Wilkie going forward and meeting with him routinely as other veteran service organizations work with us, and we stand shoulder to shoulder with them in working with him. I've personally spoken with him a few times. Again, I think that he is up to task. We really hope that he'll focus on IAVA's big 6 priorities, which include suicide prevention, as I mentioned earlier, and also VA reforms such as the Mission Act. We look forward to keeping a regular scheduled contact with him.
Well, it's a very, very big job with many challenges. We wish him luck.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.